Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom Lekim.
Shabbat shalom, Mekah.
Giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel for allowing us to even return unto Him to have a second service even on this holy Shabbat day. The beginning of our double Shabbat, our Shabbat Kaful. We know that when the sun goes down this evening, that we go right into our holy day of Chag Shavuot. So may the Holy One of Israel continue to be with us and to allow us to have great times, one with another, so that we may enjoy these celebrations and these feast days together with health and with strength. Hallelujah. This time let us even sing the song of Thy Wondrous Works Will Tell. Singing of the Most High's wondrous works which He has done. You think about creation. You think about all the things that Yah has done. You think about the nations that are on the face of the earth and the children of Israel whom He has chosen to be His people. The wondrous works of the Most High we will tell and we will sing forever as long as we have life. So let us sing it, Yahweh, together even at this time. The heavens declare it. The glory is thine. The earth and to sing. Those on earth divine. Our God, the Creator of everything. To Thee we lift up our voices, we'll sing our He may give God and life, and song of Thy wondrous works will tell. And when we do conquer, we'll cry unto Thee, for lo, in Thou Thy mercy will be. Thou sendest Thine angel to show us the way. To Thee we send our praise, we pray, bring our heart of Yahweh. It's our God, He may give God and life, and song. All Thy wondrous works will tell. Sing of the might of Yah. It's our God, He may give God and life, and fall. Oh, Thy wondrous works. Hallelujah.
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 Ata Adonai Yehovah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'ne'eman Shomer HaBrit, V'Ha'chesed Le'o HaVe'cha. Baruch Atah Baruch Shemka, Ki Ata El Gadol Be'emet. V'Ad Ata Ad Milim, Ein Milim Li Dai O B'Diuk O At Mat Speak, L'Daber La'el Kimoka, Ki Ata Ad Milim. Jehovah Elohim, Hikwalnu Hayom Ki Ze Shabbatka, Lahakwil, Latif Artika, Latetlaka Modim Rabim Al Shem Quadshika, Kiata Zoke, Weki Bishmarka Shamar Tanu, Wehe Elitanu Mimita Tenum Odpa'am, Hayom Lihiyot Chayim, Toda Rabba Al Rav Tuvka, Asher Taftan, Washer Hir Beitanu Rav, Le'eko Lishtot, Laha'akilo Tanu, Me'odenu Ad Ata, Washer He'ezar Tanu, Bekol Ma'ayotenu, Uvkol Kwashenu, Asher Heyinu, Me'odenu Ad Ata, Washer Hayitanu, El Ezra, Wehoshia, Wahama Akil Asher Natatalanu Okel, Bekol Moshvotenu, Washer He'ekal Tanu Ad Hayom Hazeh. Toda we Modim Rabim Al Tuvka, Kiata El Tov Me'od. Tiye Imanu Na Yehovah Elohim. Ba'al Tishkachenu, Ka'asher Shakaknu Otka, Ba'kasher Zavnu Otka, Ba'avur. Tashiv Aleinu, Et Kol Lakwakta, Asher Ata Lakwakta, Mimenu, Et Safatenu, Wet Tarbutenu, Wet Kolshe Ahavnu, Wa Heyinu, Ba'avur. Tashiv Aleinu Na Yehovah, Wa Tashiv Aleinu Ot Pa'am, Ga'awa. Kiseha Ba'aya Asher Eilanu Ga'awa. Anaknu O Havim Tarbut Oivenu. Wanaknu O Havim Tarbut Te Oivenu Bekol Hagalut Tim Asher Shalatan. Dai Adonai Tiye Iman. Watashiv Et Ga'awa Tenu Belibo Tenu. Od Pa'am. La'ahava Odka. La'ahava Et Toratka. La'ahava Et Kol Asher Natata La'avo Tenu. Be Mayhem. La'avurota Ba'avur Ad Hayom Hazeh. Toda Kishavta Tahila, Bemekwomenu, Bequirbenu Opa, Wakishavta Ota, Bebetak Wiba Shalom, Watashivota, Bemekwomenu Opa, Lakayim Ba Kol Hazman, Kianaknu Ki Anaknu Ohavim Ota, Tihiye in Kolanu, Tihiye in Kohanenu, Toda Rabba Lekohen Sheikh Yashir Hupo, Ba'adenu, Lahat Lakahin Aleka, Wetikwa Beloto, Wetivarekoto, Wata Azor et Mishtad Lola Asot Matov Be'eneka. Tiyem Sarenu Adon Sa Aharon. Watashiv Aleinu Alai et Rachameka. Wetarbut et Ahavatka Od Pa'am Na Yeho. Tashiv Ol Alai. Wetihiye Imo. Wetihiye Ito Bavagusha. Wetitein Lo Ezra. Ahava. Wahat Hatzlacha Od Pa'am. Kol Kavod Aleka. Kol Halil Al Shem Kwashika. Kol Modim Rabim Al Shem Kwashika. Kiata El Be'emet Tov Me'od Aleinu. Wetikwabel Et Chag Shavuot Asher Huba Aleinu. Wetikwabel Et Chagenu. Wetitein Lanu Bratzonka. Ahavatka. Wikuleka. Wekol She Ata Lakwakta Mimenu Opa'am. Tashiv Aleinu. Kianaknu Rotsimotka. Wanaknu Nitrakim Et Ezratka Opa'am. Lekayim Begalutenu. Baruch Atah Yehovah Elohim. Wa Baruch Shemka Ade Netzaki. Hallelujah.
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 Yoka.
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 Yoka. Behulalum Vorak. Atah Yehovah Ade Ad. Selah.
O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu. O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahovah Echad. Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu. Hallelujah, oh Baruch Shekemo, Mahakutole Olam, Mahakutole Olam, Mahakutole Olam, oh Baruch Shekemo, Mahakutole Olam, Olam Wae, O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, O Baruch Shekemo, Mahakutole Olam, Mahakutole Olam, Mahakutole Olam, O Baruch Shekemo, Mahakutole Olam, Olam Wae.
Hallelujah. Went back to my days on the stage, you know. Hallelujah. Please be seated. Flashbacks. Nothing wrong with that. I can hear Dode in the background. Don't forget to bow. Don't forget to bow. Oh, it was some good days, boy. We had some great times. Boy. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Because he was our manager, so he was teaching us about etiquette and all these things. We sitting there thinking we didn't know nothing about those. You should have saw us the first time we looking at each other, bending down this way. We had to have a class. He said, "This is how you bow." You know, Joe. He's like, so he's like in the backstage. Don't forget to bow. And so we look at each other. 1, 2, 3. Blessed be the name. Those are some great times, right, Maureen Tarbell? That was Tarbell the bell, right? You played that bell. Ain't nobody played like Tarbell the bell. Blessed be the name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We're going to continue on the same vein by praising the Most High. We have our Psalms today, 79th, 121st, the 124th, and we conclude with the 148th Psalm. And today we'd like to start out by even welcoming our brother Akayil Benyami to lead us in Psalm 79. Hallelujah.
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 79th Psalm. O Yah, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. They have defiled thy holy temple. They have made Jerusalem into heaps.
They have given the dead bodies of thy servants to be food unto the fowls of the heavens, the flesh of thy holy ones unto the beasts of the earth.
They have shed their blood like water round about Jerusalem, with none to bury them.
We are become a taunt to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us.
How long, O Yehovah, wilt thou be angry forever? How long will thy jealousy burn like fire?
Pour out thy wrath upon the nations that know thee not, and upon the kingdoms that call not upon thy name.
They have defiled Yaakov and laid waste his habitation.
Remember not against us the iniquities of our forefathers. Let thy compassion speedily come to meet us, for we are brought very low.
Help us, O Yah, of our salvation, for the sake of the glory of thy name, and deliver us and forgive our sins for thy name's sake.
Wherefore should the nations say, where is their power? Let the avenging of thy servants' blood that is shed be made known among the nations in our sight.
Let the groaning of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Set free those that are appointed to death.
And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosoms their reproach wherewith they have reproached thee, O Yah.
So we that are thy people and the flock of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will tell of thy praise to all generations.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I'd like to thank the Creator for how he continuously watches over his people. And I would like to thank him for the wonderful blessings that he continues to pour out. I had the privilege of watching a graduation this week, and I'm so proud of Jaya and Kaziel and Amaxi. It was amazing to watch them come across that stage. As I was walking into the Coliseum, I ran into Abishadai. And I had already said to myself, there's no way in the world I'm getting this long line that wrapped around the Coliseum. So, of course, I stepped up to Abishadai. We all walked in together. And when we got inside, Mia had already blocked out a whole row for like 15 people. I don't know how she managed to do that, but she did it. But I had a quick flashback because I recall when they graduated from the 5th grade. And Abishadai and I were together watching them at such young ages. And as they came across that stage, my life flashed in front of me because I was wondering, where did that time go? And just to follow up with what Kohen Zadok said this morning, You know, at the age of 17 and 18, I thought I knew everything. I did not need any additional resources because I was set for life. So I thought. And 10 years later, I look back and say, wow, I didn't know a thing. And 10 years from there, and 10 years from there, and 10 years from there. I'm sharing that just to say to all the young people, utilize the resources that you have. Because as I looked out over those 642 students, I was proud of them all, but I was also concerned about where are their lives going from here. But the beautiful thing is, the children in this room, they have the Creator. They have the Torah. They have people in their lives who can guide them along the way. And I thank the Creator for that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We would like to, at this time, continue on with Psalms 121. Let us even welcome even the Rev. Yerusha, Aisha Akshemuel. She just recently had a birthday, so I know that she is very happy to be alive to see another year. Hallelujah.
Hashem. Yes, very happy, Toda Rabah. Very happy to be here.
Hallelujah. Happy to have you.
Wonderful to be with family, especially during the holy season. Always blessed on Shabbat. And I just want to say Toda Yah for another year.
Amen. Hallelujah.
121st Psalm. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence shall my help come?
My help cometh from Jehovah, who made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy feet to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep.
Yah is thy keeper.
Amen.
Jehovah is the shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night.
Jehovah shall keep thee from all evil. He shall keep thy soul.
Jehovah shall guard thy going out, and thy coming in, from this time forth and forever. Amen.
Amen. I just want to say Toda Rabah for his mercy and his goodness and his blessings, because yes, I've listened to all of y'all, and you young people, you still got a long way to go. So say Baruch Hashem, look to your resources, but still enjoy and be proud of yourselves. All right, Toda.
Hallelujah. We're going to welcome at this time even our mic passer and holder. He has the mic already, so El Yafeh, let us welcome El Yafeh to lead us in Psalm 124. He does such a wonderful job, and he takes his job very seriously. That's what a Levite is all about. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom.
If it had not been Yehovah who was for us, let Israel not say.
If it had not been Yehovah who was for us, when they rose up against us,
Then they have swallowed us up alive when their wrath was kindled against us.
then the waters had overwhelmed us, the streams had gone over our souls.
Then the proud waters had gone over our soul.
Blessed be Yehovah, who has not given us as a prey to their teeth.
Our souls escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped.
Our help is in the name of Yehovah, who made heaven and earth.
Toda Yehovah for waking us all up this morning, allowing us to see another Shabbat, and I ask that He will wake us up tomorrow to also see another Chag Shavuot.
Amen.
And Toda Yah for all things are in Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to ask one about Bakora, even the daughter of Chief Malachi. Please tell me your name again. Nishlakia. All right. Bakora, Nishlakia, but Chief Malachi, Luke Malachi. Let us welcome her to lead us in Psalms 148. Hallelujah.
Psalms 148, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise ye the Lord from the heavens, praise him in the heights.
Praise him, all his angels. Praise him, all his hosts.
Praise ye him, sun and moon, praise him, all ye stars of light.
Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that are above the heavens.
Let them praise the name of Jehovah, for he commanded, and they were created.
He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not be transgressed.
Praise Jehovah from the earth, ye sea monsters and all the deep.
Fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word.
Mountains and all hills, fruitful trees and all cedars.
Beasts and all cattle, creeping things and winged fowl.
Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all judges of the earth.
Both young men and maidens, old men and children.
Let them praise the name of Jehovah, for his name alone is exalted. His glory is above the earth and heaven.
And he hath lifted up a horn for his people, a praise for all his holy ones, even for the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom, and
Shabbat Shalom.
it's good to see everybody again. Yeah.
Hallelujah. Give our thanks to the Holy One of Israel for all of our psalmists this day. May the Holy One of Israel continue to bless each and every one of you, and even everyone that is here, those that were not chosen to read a psalm. May y'all continue to bless us all for his great name's sake. At this time, before getting into our segment of the day, please do the Most High the honor of standing, and let us sing a song even at this time. Let us sing the song, What's My Name? Not forgetting our beginnings and our identity, and the fact that Yah, no matter what the other nations say about us and what other names they call us or think what names belong to us, our name is Yisrael, and that we should never forget that. So on page 1 in our song booklet, let us sing the song, What's My Name? Please join me in singing this song. I roam this whole world over, been immersed in sin and shame. No man's feet I've not been under. What's my name? I've been chained, whipped and beaten, slavery's my only fame. Even my soul, the nations plunder. What's my name? What's my name? Who could care for none? Just stand with me. I alone have to bear my grief and misery. Comes a day my Yah is tired with the heathen use his name, and he'll tear my bonds asunder. Then you'll hear when I proclaim. Then you'll hear when I proclaim. Israel, Israel. Hallelujah. Let's sing another song. Hallelujah. We don't have our drummers, so we're going to have to do this a cappella. Let's sing out here. Okay, well, I just see them lying there dormant. I see them. Come on now. Boy, that drum is pretty. They get offensive, boy. They got drummers. Acapella, we don't do that here in this community. Let's sing Hazin Ali. Let's sing in our tongue, the Hebrew language. Hazin Ali, Ali Obehani, Omepaneka, Ka'aterani, Marjish, Me'ayem, Ozekraele, Ka'el Yahuwah. Sadiq Devorka, Kamadoraka, Yie, Takamu, Rotele Mobo, Shembo Akali, Weko, Mishpati, Asi, Olesbo, Beroka, Shalom. Mino Telehem, Mino Temaya, Mima Akila, Boko Hazman, Beleka Olam, Ore Ha'aren, Umoshienu, Shemo Yahuwah. What's his name? Yahuwah. Yahuwah. What's up? What's his name, Israel? Yahuwah. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom, Karen.
Shabbat Shalom Lecha.
We're going to have, as you can see the setup, we have a debate that is going to take place at this moment. Just want to give the rules. You want to read it? Hallelujah. Give him the mic about the shot. Or you want to come up here?
Shalom, family. All praises to the Creator. Thanking Him for my life and the lives of all of you. As you can see, we're about to have a debate. I just wanted to set the stage for the debate. I don't have it now. Maybe we'll do it at the end. I just want to go over some things with you. But a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from a brother in New York, and he's trying to deal with a situation regarding inoculations. They're making it very tough for them in New York to get to get waived, exempted from the inoculations, and they got a very strict rule up there now. Before, you could just provide a letter, and that's no longer the case. So just so happens that right around that time, I got into a discussion with my son-in-law about inoculations, and it got interesting. And so I said, you know what? This is a great topic for a debate. So I called up Britiel. I said, Britiel, I want you to set up a debate. We've done it before. We're going to do it with adults this time. And I said, this is the stipulation. Find out what the person's position is after they volunteer to do it. If they're for those that are for and those that are against. The ones that are for, have them fight against it, and those that are against it, have them fight for it, so that it would give them a challenge to do harder work. Because if you take the position that you normally would take, that makes it kind of easy. So I flipped it and said, give them the opposite position so that it can be more interesting and more challenging for them. So I expect this to be a very interesting debate. And so we're just going to call up the participants. And the question is, should Israelites be vaccinated? Okay, so the group that's for vaccination, please come up so I can identify you and give you okay, so we have Mia Yemiyahu, who is coming in as Malcolm X today, and who's the third person? And Uzziah, tell me he needs to get in here. The debate is about to start. He's going to lose points. Okay. And those who are against vaccinations, please come up. That would be Nicole Kenya, Netanyahu, and Yukara. I don't know that. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Now all the grandstanding won't get you points. I want to caution, Slika, we're going to keep order, or we're going to ask you who are disrupting the session to leave, okay? We're going to maintain order. This is for the debaters. I know you all got all your paperwork prepared and you think you have it all together, but I'm cautioning you that you have time constraints. You have specific rules that were given to you that you're expected to follow. So if you go on longer than you're supposed to, you might lose a point. If you don't cover all of the different bases that we've given you, you're going to lose a point. So this is very serious. Some people think it's about the position. For the people who are judging you, it's about how well you conduct yourselves during the debate and how well you finish the program or the instructions that you were given. They have specific instructions on the negative, the positive, the rebuttals, and all of that. That's how they're judged. So all the other stuff goes out the window. Okay? So we're just going to remind you, I think we have a timekeeper. Make sure you watch your time. If you don't use up all your time and you don't finish the portion, you will lose points. Okay? This is serious business. I think they're all prepared. Let's give them all a round of applause just for the effort. just for studying this portion and being prepared to volunteering themselves to participate is already commendable. What's your question?
Who's the time?
You introduced them in submission that they really stand for the position they're going to debate.
I did, but I'll do it again. Those that are for vaccinations are on this side of the room, and those that are against the vaccinations are on this side of the room. Okay? So I'm going to turn it over. Slika.
And the audience, can we cheer them on? Can we make
No, not during the debate. That takes up time. It throws off their. It takes up time. It throws off their concentration, and some people will not be able to hear everything they have to say. Save all of that. The plan is to have enough time to have a vigorous discussion, and we can do all of that later. Right now, we're taking this very seriously. They're taking it seriously, and we want you all to take it seriously. Okay? So, round one is the affirmative opening. So we're going to bring up the people who are for the debate, for the vaccinations, to come up first. Who's your person? Spokesperson? I'm sorry. Okay, so we're starting with Yirmiyahu. Again, we've given you some instructions and some advice on how you conduct yourselves during this debate. The judges are myself, Akot Tahila, and who's the third person? Maurice Shemuel.
You're the third person.
I'm up there. I'm one of the judges. The third person's not here? You can't come up? All right, well, we're going to use somebody else.
He is, but he has to do 2 things.
He can't do 2 things at once. He can't do it. So we're going to have to take him out. I want to choose Gaveret Yerusha.
Like how many rounds?
8 rounds. Okay. There are a total of 8 rounds. There's the affirmative opening, the negative opening. Round 3 is the affirmative rebuttal. Round 4 is the negative rebuttal. Round 5 is the affirmative rebuttal 2. Round 6 is the negative rebuttal number 2. Round 7 is the negative closing. And round 8 is the affirmative closing. Okay? And I think I'm going to bring another mic up here so I can have this one in the back so I can let you know where we're going. Okay? So can we get another mic up here for whoever's presenting? And I'll take this mic with me to help with that. I actually may turn this over to somebody else so that I can specifically deal with the judging. You want to do that? All right, so I'm going to let Akbar ETL will be informing you when the next segment comes in and time and all of that, and I can focus on the judging. Hold on.
Yeah, how long is each round?
3 to 5 minutes. Both of them.
Justin, 1, 2, 1, 2. Justin?
Whoever get up on
Whoever gets up, you just adjust it according to your height. Thank you.
for the mouth.
Should Israelites be vaccinated? Yes, Israelites should be vaccinated. Unfortunately, Israelites do get sick, either from the environment, from others, especially in the United States or abroad. To protect us from this, we can humanize ourselves and others, to make us immune to the viruses or diseases by vaccinations. So what is a vaccine? A vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases. Now, these inexpensive vaccinations or vaccines can be swallowed by mouth or injected into the body. But most importantly, it protects the person from getting the virus or the disease. Sometimes the virus comes anyway. But the vaccine allows the virus to go away faster. If people do not get vaccines, viruses can stick around longer in the body, cause a person to be sick longer, and sometimes cause death. And we realize why we're in a situation like this, that we have to have the conversation, should we be vaccinated or not. Well, the scriptures already foretold things like this may come about. In the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 60th verse, it reads, "And he," being the Creator, the Almighty, "will bring upon these all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast in dread of, and shall cleave unto thee, and every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of law." But thank to the Most High for his infinite wisdom and also the advancement of science to help us throughout this process. For example, due to vaccinations, we have been able to fully eradicate smallpox. Also polio. These are diseases which once plagued us as a people and all humanity, and due to vaccines, they have been fully wiped out. We have the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. This is the leading public agency. They are established in over 120 countries. Over 12,000 employees. Now, these employees are just not the average Joe. We're dealing with researchers, scientists, doctors, nurses, dedicated people striving to protect the lives of all humanity. Now, in a perfect world where germs, sickness, and diseases don't exist, there wouldn't be a need for vaccinations. But the reality is we don't live in that world. We reside in a world where sickness and disease run rapid. So we have a moral obligation to contribute to the health and the well-being of society. Immunizations and vaccines have been created in this world to keep it as healthy as possible, free from injury, and most importantly, safe. It is the most effective way of preventing infectious diseases. It's easier and more cost-effective to prevent a disease than to treat it. That's exactly what immunizations will do. During this debate, we will present additional information about the benefits and safety of vaccinations, the statistics, and historical and biblical references that support our position. Thank you.
All right, come on.
Formaldehyde.
aluminum, glycerin, gelatin, fetal tissue, human protein, human DNA, glyphosate, a common known carcinogen used in Roundup. These are the major ingredients used to create vaccines. Vaccines are purported to promote and sustain optimal health. However, the Torah outlines several reasons why Israelites should not be vaccinated. First and primarily, as Israelites, we have been given strict guidelines regarding what we're allowed to put in our bodies. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 3. It fully details the scope of what is appropriate to be consumed by mouth and be absorbed through our skin. Secondly, globally, the vaccine market is a multi-million-dollar industry that is primarily motivated by profit margins and wealth as opposed to wellness. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 22. A man with an evil eye hastens after wealth and doesn't know that want will come upon him. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Third, APA News in Kenya reported that 500,000 young women and young girls and women may be infertile following a tetanus vaccine that was administered by the government in 2014 and 15. Genesis 1, verse 28. Yah blessed them and said to be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Lastly, simply put, our covenant with the Most High promises to protect us from illness and harm. Exodus 15:26. Yah said, if you listen carefully to your power and do what is right in his eyes, if you diligently hearken to the voice of the Most High, your power, and do what is right and give ear to his commandments and keep his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, for I am the Most High who heals you. Here is a clip of a Dr. Moss, a medical doctor, explaining and comparing the deaths from measles versus measles vaccinations. No, this is the end.
Nobody can
Dr. Costello said, and I really appreciate what she said. She said, really, even one death is too many. And she said that there have been 2 measles deaths. Actually, she talked about the measles death. I think in 2015, there actually was another measles death in this country reported by the CDC in 2003. So there were 2 deaths, measles deaths between 2003 and the present. What didn't come out in the testimony is during that same period of time, again, this is from the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, there have been 127 measles vaccine-related deaths. So if we're worried about 1 death or 2 deaths from measles, what about 127 deaths from the vaccine as a complication? And I didn't mention, but obviously, you know, the flu vaccine has also been reported to cause deaths as well. So what about allowing people to actually...
Long-term seizures, coma, lowered consciousness, permanent brain damage, death. These are just some of the effects of vaccines. Sorry.
Amen.
Formaldehyde is used for inactivated bacterial products for toxoid vaccines. It's also used to kill unwanted viruses and bacteria that might contaminate the vaccine during the production. Thimerosal is a mercury-containing preservative that is added to the vials of the vaccine that contain more than one dose to prevent contamination and growth of potential harmful bacteria. We have at least 500,000 cases of measles in the United States every year. Before the vaccine arrived in 1963, nearly everyone got the disease in their childhood. On an average of 440 children died from it annually. The safety of our vaccines are thoroughly studied before they're licensed for public use. Clinical trials are conducted to evaluate the safety and effectiveness before it is brought to the market. They are tested in laboratory studies and on animal studies. There are strong systems in place to help scientists monitor the safety of the vaccines. Most of the side effects from vaccines reported come in the form of a little irritation and pain from the injection site. Serious side effects are rare. Receiving a combination of vaccine during one doctor visit is safe and the quickest way to protect against multiple diseases. And the United States has one of the best vaccine programs in the world. And from a scientific standpoint, all humans have red and white blood cells. The red blood cells carry oxygen through the body, and the white blood cells support our immune system. For the sake of our conversation today, let's examine the white blood cells. If we break down white blood cells, we have B cells and T cells present in our body to detect all viruses. The B cells are like memory cells. They are the first cells notified when you get a virus. The B cells then send a message to the T cells, which are the secondary cells notified when you get a virus. These T cells now become activated and attack and kill the viruses in your body. The purpose of this vaccine is to create the process in your cells before you get sick. For example, you get a vaccine for a virus. The vaccine contains a very small, minimal dose of the virus, and it is injected or swallowed in your body. The vaccine also contains antibodies, which are good cells included in the vaccine. The vaccine notifies the B cells, which are the memory cells, and then lets them know there is a virus present in your body. A message is then sent to the secondary T cells, and at that point establishes the T cell position.
Excuse me. Can I make it was in the rules that they would make us aware 30 seconds before the time ended. No one made us aware of the time. Thank you.
Objection sustained.
All right, Counselor.
Counsel.
The first one, I'll start with you. Oh, okay. So there were several points that were brought up, and I would actually like to start out by discussing those experts who are paid by the FDA to provide feedback about the effectiveness of vaccines. These experts have significant financial conflicts of interest. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, used to be funded by the U.S. Treasury. They are now funded by the pharma industry after an act in 1992, which allowed them to get paychecks directly from the pharma industry. So as you can see, their boss is pushing these agendas. Why do we trust them? Do we trust the CDC? Do we trust the FDA? If we do, we need to question why we do trust them. These vaccinations do not completely eradicate those diseases. Though several of those diseases are still prevalent. They're still around, they have not gone anywhere. How effective are they? There are also significant side effects associated with the vaccine themselves. These side effects, sometimes you have to weigh the pros and the cons, and sometimes you have to figure out what the lesser of the two evils is. So if there are side effects of getting the disease itself, and that is coughing, sneezing, is that the end of the world? Or is inserting these toxins into your body, is that worse? America, they did state that the U.S. has the highest vaccine rate in the world. But what was left out is that we also have the highest child mortality rate. Countries who have lower vaccination rates have lower child mortality rates. There are other ways to immunize. The fact of the blood cells and how you protect them and introduce a small amount of the disease into the system to build or elicit this immunity, vaccines are not the only way to do that. There are homeopathic ways to do that without injecting yourself with those toxins, with those unkosher toxins. So, if you do research, you'll find a process called homeoprophylaxis, which does the same thing. It introduces some of those antigens into the system to elicit an immune response. However, they have none of the preservatives and additives. They don't have those adverse effects. So if we're talking about using vaccines as a way of protecting you, there are other ways to do that that don't include violating the Torah. So that's
Okay, next we have the appointment of rebuttal number 2, 2 minutes.
We talk about getting infected here in the United States, but we never talk about what goes on outside of the United States. If you get infected by someone you come in contact with, or your children get someone infected by someone they get in contact with, they bring it home. But the real deal is most of our viruses come from abroad. And how do we stop people from bringing them into the United States? Agencies like the CDC, Center for Disease Control, with over 150 labs around the world, help track these diseases and viruses from past, present, and future. They recommend getting vaccinations throughout your life to protect you against many infections that could cause a serious problem, including death. A lot of diseases come from abroad, and the Center of Disease Control has a global division involved in one of the most effective of all public health missions in the world. Vaccinations against deadly diseases like malaria and Ebola have scientists, laboratories, and health professions currently working in Uganda, Tanzania, Sierra Leone, and South Africa. These vaccinations save 2 to 3 million people a year.
That's right.
An estimated 130 million infants are born around the world each year. Protecting these infants with these vaccine-preventable diseases like measles and whooping cough, these diseases are not going away. These measles cases in the first 5 years of 2019 surpassed the total number of cases per year for the last 25 years. With vaccinations, the spread of preventable diseases can be limited. Thank you.
Yes.
Negative rebuttal number 2.
Heard a lot said this afternoon in regards to vaccines and how they are primarily brought from overseas into this country. I find that very interesting when we actually go back and look at some of these viruses that people are infected with, that they are created in labs, generally owned through US dollars, through the pharmaceutical industry. We do know that the pharmaceutical industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, as we have already mentioned. And it is this industry that helps fuel the system of America, this Babylonian society, if you will, that keeps us away from the true help that the Creator has ordained for us to receive. We have to keep these things in mind when we consider vaccinations. Do we want to trust the man that has hung us? Do we want to trust the man that has done so many atrocities to us? As Israelites, we have to remember that it is Yah that gives us the truth and gives us true help. And that is the society that gives us the lie. Let us continue to trust Yah. Hallelujah.
Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break to let them get their final arguments together. 10 minutes exactly.
Three minutes.
2 minutes 40.
Who is the time?
It's 2 minutes
2 minutes.
Right.
on, family. Shh. We are going to start exactly on time.
1 minute.
I just need, if you're in the room, stay seated. If you're not in the room, you want to come in the room, please come in before the final debate team comes up, because no one will be able to pass through the door once the debate continues. So if you're coming in, come in now, have a seat. There's going to be total no movement once they get started. You have 40 seconds to come in if you will, if you want to come in. If not, you can come in after the debate is completed. 30 seconds. Come on, family. Let's sit down, please. Have a seat. Shalom, brothers. Hallelujah. Welcome. We're finishing up the debate on vaccinations. We're going into the final last 2 rounds. We ask everyone to be quiet while we finish up the debate. It won't be long. After the debate is over, the judges will go into deliberation for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, you all can clear up this area and do some praising. Okay? Just give us a chance to go over our scoring so that we can see who is going to come out on top of this debate. I want to commend both teams. Let's give them a round of applause. I got the needle right here, but I just don't know whether I'm going to inject myself or not. Okay? So as soon as I take my seat, the next gentleman who's closing out will come up, or a lady, and we will start the clock. So, Rabbi, please keep the silence going on. We appreciate it. So on. Okay, so negative closing is first, 3 to 5 minutes.
What is the whole duty of mankind? Fear Yah, keep his commandments. We know that if we keep Yah's commandments, Yah has given us a promise that the sicknesses of the land of Mitzrayim will not cling unto us. Are we not in a new Mitzrayim today? The sicknesses of this land clinging to us is something we should not have to worry if our righteousness is in check. That is truly what this conversation as Israelites should be about, our righteousness. When we think about the various vaccines and the reasons why we should or why we shouldn't that have been discussed today, we should take into consideration that these organizations that are responsible for granting us these things have a conflict of interest. The CDC, the World Health Organization, through the United Nations. These things, people that ultimately they have a conflict of interest.
there are matters of even the chairman, the Vaccine Advisory Committee, that owns stock in major manufacturers of vaccines. That seems kind of like a conflict of interest. If I own stock in a certain area, I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm trying to make money. We're in a capitalist society. That's what it's truly about, making money. It's not about our health. It's not about trying to prevent us from catching something, catching a sickness. That's not what it's about. But it's about controlling the population and at the same time, making money. Now, when we also consider that there has been a study done through USA Today that more than half of these experts, they are actually financially motivated. So these things have been tested. They have been tried. You can go and look at the resources for these things. Even on the CDC website, why vaccinate? Do they work? On the CDC website, they even say that only 40% of their flu vaccines actually work. 40%. So you're taking this shot on a whim, hoping that it works. Is that a risk that you're willing to take? What other damages could it do? To weigh in the possibility of not catching the disease and dealing with the side effects, or the immunization doesn't work and you still catch the disease. I'm sure we've all heard plenty of stories of people that's happened to before. You get the flu shot and you still catch the flu. Things that we have to consider. The crafty council, trusting the society to give us true health. We should know better by now. Through our history as Israelites, when we were in Egypt, our time throughout Africa, and even here in the States, we should know better than to trust our oppressors to give us a way to truly be healthy. Yah has given us the formula that we need, and there's nothing else that we have to rely upon. Hallelujah.
The primary benefit of vaccination is to prevent disease. Immunization is considered one of the greatest public health achievements in the 20th century. The misconception that vaccines might cause autism and death has been studied, and there's very little evidence to prove that there's any links. In fact, it can help to keep the weakest in our communities from disease and even death. As we have seen in the US and other countries, if we stop vaccinating, vaccine-preventable diseases can and will return. Therefore, it is imperative that we still vaccinate against diseases. Statistics show that vaccination has drastically reduced the spread of some diseases and even eradicated the diseases. Smallpox, eradicated. Polio, eradicated. These killed nations. We want to say, let's separate from the nations. If one person catches smallpox and no one is vaccinated, we all die. In our history, the Most High gave us ways to prevent the spreading of diseases in our community. Today, we still have the same obligations. For too long, Israel has been functioning in a reactive way instead of proactively. We tend to pick and choose what we will and will not accept based on our immediate benefit. We condemn the nations and their ways. If you get sick, if you have a headache, do you go for herbs or do you grab aspirin? If you catch the flu, do you go for herbs or do you go to the doctor and ask them for one of their antibiotics? We trust the nations when we want to trust the nations. Do you go to the doctor? Doctors are paid excessively amounts of salaries, excessive salaries. Who's going to stop going? If we are honest with ourselves, we already use modern medicine. Even the herbs that we use, we go to CVS and we get them. Do we make them? Do we know what's in it? We have lost too many good people because of ignorance. We were created to be a wise and understanding people. There's no wisdom in harming yourself or your family or the community members because you refuse to educate yourself. And that's all it's about, education. The Most High has allowed us to get this information, but we refuse to get it. We condemn the nations, but we don't allow ourselves to get enough education and wisdom so that we can contribute to the effects or the production of these vaccinations. As mentioned in our opening remarks, we have a moral obligation to contribute to the health and the well-being of society. In fact, we do the opposite if we leave ourselves vulnerable to contracting vaccine-preventable diseases. If we say we are going to be the leaders of the world, we should not only use vaccines, but we should be leading force in preventing medicine and health. We should not only use vaccines, but become a leading force in preventative medicine and healthcare in general. I leave you with this. There are many things you can die from. Don't let ignorance be one of them. Thank you.
I'm not going to charge you for using my line. That's my favorite line. Don't die from ignorance. Okay, we got a 10-minute break. We're going to go into deliberations, and we can take up the tables. I want to commend both sides and get a phenomenal. Discussion is a beautiful thing. You know how educated everybody got today? Because everybody's got an opinion, but nobody has all of this information. So I just want to commend them for not only the hard work, but for educating all of us. And we're going to come back for some discussion, but first we're going to tally up the scores. And then we're going to take this into the evening. You all know this is a great 2-day event, you know. We're just on our first day, and y'all's been wonderful. So we'll see you all in a few minutes. Enjoy the rest of the day. We're going to be letting you out early tonight, so that's coming. Hold on.
Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem,
We are, yeah, I think that we shouldn't be doing that. Your opinion is opposite. No, we actually were, all of us knew. But they didn't have anybody that was so they just put on that. Yeah, I'm definitely
of Yahuwah. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah. Blessed be the name, blessed be the name of Yahuwah. Uno te lechem, umayekah. Unoteleke umayemga Unoteleke umayemga Unoteleke umayemga He gives us bread and our water too. He gives us bread and our water too. He gives us bread and our water too. He gives us bread, and our water too. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Up in the morning, I got to praise God's name. Come on, Israel. When I wake up in the morning, I teach my kids to do the same. No one praise, no praise. I got to praise His name. Jehovah is King, Jehovah is King. Shel Yahuwah, Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah, Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah, Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahuwah. Yehovah.
To you, oh God, I will give my praise, as I know that my God is. He lives within me, He lives within you. So what you gonna do? All you have to say is God, 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 When I wake up, I give thanks to Yah. To you, oh Yah. Oh Yah, will give my praise. 'Cause I know that my God lives. He lives within me. He lives within you. So what you gonna do? And you have to say, God, my God lives in me. God, my God lives in song back up on the Miss Bianca field. Hallelujah. We create our own ending, right? All praise.
Y'all better save some energy for tomorrow. Tomorrow, LEL gonna have y'all running back and forth. Better save some energy and wear some comfortable shoes. How's everybody doing? Man, it's been a great day. And tomorrow's a feast. Can't wait. Can't wait for the feast. Okay, so, again, giving all thanks, honor, and glory to the Most High. Thanking Him for the lives of all of us here, for our families who are not here. For all of His mercy, His compassion, His blessings, everything that He's doing to revive us as a nation. If you don't feel that you're being revived, then we're not doing our jobs. If we look around the nations and the world, it's very easy to be discouraged. Very easy to feel, oppressed. Because oppression is going on in the world. And it's reaching very close to home. But you don't have to feel oppressed.
Not at all.
You don't have to be oppressed.
Not at all.
It's all right here. Feel liberated. Feel accomplished. Encouraged. Inspired. And that's all you have to do. And then you just have to activate yourselves in order to accomplish that aspiration. So I'm praying that our youth who have graduated, whatever grade of school, especially those coming out of high school and college, will understand that life really starts now.
Oh yeah, make it a good one.
And I pray that you will go forward with a positive attitude and a determination to succeed. To never fail. Don't give up. Don't procrastinate. Don't be lazy. All of those things will seal your fate. So leave here prepared to take on the world. Okay? So now, again, I want to commend both teams for doing a phenomenal job. This is very difficult for us. I think the topic was perfect and most timely, and I'm hoping we can do this a little more often because really you can get into this, especially when you have the right topic, and especially not just the right topic, but things that are relevant to us that we really need to be talking about and thinking about. And it's not just about your opinion. It's about having information and knowledge. Everybody's got an opinion, but does it make sense? Is your position a right position in terms of how it's going to affect you and your family? And so this was a really good topic. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. I think it should be a case-by-case situation based on your family and the risks you're willing to take, whether there's a certain child in your household needs to be taking that risk or maybe shouldn't have to take that risk. There's a lot of things to think about. If you're talking about traveling abroad, I would not advise you to go to some of these countries.
That's right.
If you don't want to take a vaccination, people go over there and they come back in a body bag. So you might want to think about that. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so here's the scoring. Debate topic: should Israelites be vaccinated? The final score for the affirmative is 49. And the final score for the negatives is 48.
I want to see that breakdown.
Now I just want to add.
I want to see the tallies.
It wasn't about, I mean, we had to take into consideration the content of what everyone was saying, but if you lost points, it was because of how you presented your argument, or if you didn't fulfill the requirements, or to say you had an opportunity to give 4 different reasons and you only gave 3, you lost the point. So things like that. That's why I kind of cautioned everybody kind of late, but I just wanted to give you all an opportunity to rethink what you were going to say and what you were going to do by reminding you that you need to pay attention to what's on the sheet. Because, and then, this is for future arguments, giving it to you in advance, because we're going to have more of these, y'all will. Is that what you want to do is you want to precisely cover the things that are on the sheet. So if it says we need 4 things for the rebuttal, and then again, it also matters how you present your argument. So if you want to really argue a point, then you have to have the energy to argue the point. I mean, you have to really sell it. Okay, so some of that might help you in the future. You got to sell your position so that you can convince the audience that you're right. That doesn't mean you got to yell and scream, but you have to have and we also look at body language, tone, all of that is on the sheet, which they were aware of. So those are the types of things. Yeah, and this is true. We decided to have this debate like last week, so they didn't have a whole lot of time. So they should be commended just for the research. I was very eager to have this debate, and people are starting to travel, so we wanted to get it in before everybody started traveling. So we kind of rushed it, but hopefully the next time we'll give the teams more time. And I think it's a great idea to have people argue against what they believe in, because it makes them study and it educates the people who are doing the presenters. But we don't have to do that. I just wanted it to do it this time because I thought it would just create more energy. But hopefully it did. Kane, I'll take your hand.
Was the video acceptable?
Oh, sure. That was another form of presentation. Yeah, they got credit for that. Mm-hmm. That was a good idea. That was actually a good idea. And hopefully, those of you who are thinking about being participants in the future, you might want to steal some of these ideas that they had. You don't pick the topic, but we'll pick the topic, and then you can, definitely volunteer. And we're going to do more of these. We're going to have another one for the youth soon, because we don't want to lose them. And so we're going to have probably the next one will be for the teenagers, and then after that we'll do another one for the adults. But we got a long summer, and we're going to put a lot of stuff in there. We're going to get it full so that we can get through these long days and keep the excitement going. Okay? Are there any other questions? Very short question and answer period. If anybody has any questions before I step down. Why is everybody laughing? Say what? Okay. No one else? We know he doesn't have a question. But Kane, can you stand up and say Shabbat Shalom? Shalom. The affirmative, the team that wanted this team on this side. The team on your left one. Okay? Any other questions? No, come on, why? Raise your hand. What did he say? I don't have that information. That's out of my lane. Sneaker, let's keep it simple because we're going to be in and out very shortly.
I would like to know your view on the topic. Visualize
I thought I gave it.
You gave it.
I gave it. I'm not repeating it.
I don't record you.
Okay, you have it. Yeah, I got you. You gotta get it back soon. Any other questions? When we prolong the question and answer period, you notice people start asking questions they don't need to answer. So I'm gonna get down. Yeah, we learn, us guys up here, we learn a lot from you all. We really do. Okay, so what we gonna do? Okay, here we go.
I'm following up with detailed question. You mentioned that this topic originated at the house between you and your son-in-law. We would just like to know when that.
No comment. I'm not bringing the sins of the household into the community. I'm not doing that. I think that he learned a lot though by doing it by having this process. Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
To be a fly on the wall. To be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, y'all really know how to start up trouble. This is really getting good. Y'all really getting good at this. Seriously. All right. So this is the deal. Tomorrow, as you all know, I'm just gonna make some announcements. Tomorrow we start our normal time, 12 o'clock. Of course, we're not going to start 12 sharp, but we want to be here and get things going. Brothers, they need to be at a normal time. We have things to do. We're going to have a cleanup tonight with the sanctuary and, of course, the bathrooms and whatnot. And so we'll take care of that. And we're going to let you all out early tonight because you have to get home. Some people want to shower before the sun goes down. Some people want to be home in time to start preparing their bread. And so we're going to give you enough time to travel home. So we'll be ending out no later than 8 p.m. Depends on how long it takes you to close out. And everybody can get home safely. Okay? So this is just a double Shabbat. So we're just going to enjoy it, ride into the next one. And Most High bless everyone to get home safely and to arrive here tomorrow safely. And be prepared to feast and party. Having a holy party. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the Kohen. He's going to give us a little more dance music, and then we're going to head home soon.
Hallelujah. Todah. We do have to do one thing, and that is to count the Omer for the very last time. Hallelujah. Please stand up. So we know that this is Shabbat Shavi, right? All right. And we know that we have counted 7 complete Shabbatot. And then it said on the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall be a holy day of Kal Shavuot, okay? So on page 25, again, this is Shabbat Shavi'i. On page 25, we find these words. Of course, we say, Anachnu Samakim, La'asot Torat Ka Yehoah Al Seferet HaOmer. We saying, Anachnu Samakim, we are happy, La'asot Torat Ka, to do your law, Yehoah, Al Seferet HaOmer, on the counting or the numbering of the Omer. So let us even recite these words again, Shabbat Shavi'i. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Anachnu Samakim, La'asot Torat Ka Yehoah, Al Seferet HaOmer, Zeh Shabbat Shavi'i. Hallelujah. Amen. Please be seated as I would even call upon and let us receive him well. Even one of the brothers from the community in Chester, South Carolina, let us welcome even Brother Maureen Yob. He's going to stand where he said. He's not going to come up. He said he's going to stand over here. So if he's giving a mic, let us welcome him. Maureen Yob. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High Yah. The bishop that put me on the spot at the last minute. Told me I was coming up here to speak, talk to the family, but shalom family. All praise to the Most High. Once again, great debate. I love the debate. if I could just talk on it just a little bit, me personally, maybe, 3 years ago, I was actually stricken with blood clots. Started in my calf and actually went up to my lungs. Personally, I was just totally against going to the hospital and taking the medicine that they prescribed for me. Personally, I began to question them, what is this that you're trying to give me? After pressing them, basically that medicine that they wanted to give me is only rat poison. All it does is stabilize the blood clot. I told the doctor, why would I want to stabilize something? I want to get rid of it. So after I began to pray and talk to my Abba, I said, man, I'm not going to take it. I actually went to the hospital. My sister convinced me because I'm just not a hospital person. When I get sick, I'd rather the brothers just come, man, y'all just pray for me. So I actually went because I really couldn't figure out what it was. Come to find out that's what it was the blood clots. As y'all was saying about the herbs, like how do we really know that it is the natural herb? This is just my personal thing. I believe if we as a people, when the Most High see us trying, so oftentimes we just sit where we at and we don't even try. We understand the condition that we are in, so should we just sit and not even try? We understand even the seed that they give us to plant in the ground is not your natural seed because they control that. But should we not even try as a people? Like we're in this condition, so we're just gonna sit here and just sob and accept it. You know what I'm saying? So man, I went home, I got all my herbs, I did this, I did that, and 6 months later, y'all, I'm free from blood clots. I can even say the same thing about my Abba. My Abba was stricken with cancer. They wanted to give him chemo. He said no. He walked around for what, maybe 2 months with his intestines hanging out in a bag. I mean, when I say this dude was stank, he was stank, man. Like, bro, you gotta put that back in there. But he wouldn't accept it. We were real young, we really didn't understand at the time. But he wouldn't accept what they was trying to give him. I personally believe it makes us stronger, a stronger people, when we really begin to put our trust and faith in Almighty Yah. Because the thing about it, the more that those people do for us, the more we're going to depend on those people. See what I'm saying? The more we allow the Most High to do things for us, the more we're going to depend on the Most High. So man, like I said, I thought it was a great topic. If it's just me personally, I'm not taking it.
You still won.
Give me my I'm not taking it. Give me my apple cider vinegar. Give me my garlic. Give me my cayenne, my turmeric. Give me all of that first. Let me try what we believe is made from the earth, what was already here. Should we educate ourselves on this stuff? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have been educated in the herbs, please come and talk to me. Not only the one that we just fire up, but there's more herbs out there. As soon as someone say herb, let's fire them up. Nah, there's some more out there. Wait a minute. That's not gonna solve all of our problems. Yes, it'll ease the pain for a moment. But man, all praise to the Most High, man, for leading the family and the travel, man, and reaching out. Man, it's been a great experience. How everything went down and how we met. Like I tell Vishda all the time, man, our biggest thing is that we understand that Israel, there's a lot of differences in Israel. And as I stated this morning, I believe that in ancient Israel we had one law. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Israel had one law. So in order to bring this thing together like it should be, we have to sit down at the table and talk. there are some things that we couldn't miss. You know? There's some things that we didn't see and didn't understand. So the minute we come and put ourselves on a pedestal and say that no one else can show us anything, then you just a foolish man or woman. You know, I've been eating this all my life. You can't tell me nothing. Yes, I can. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. So I thank Almighty y'all for y'all humbleness. I know that y'all look at us and say that we're humble, but y'all humbleness, man, because we got to understand, you know, we're not here to fight against one another. We're actually here to come together. You understand what prophecy says. That's how many goes, you know. That is the main goal. It's to bring Israel together. Understanding that we were a divided people, and now we let small, simple things keep us divided. Now we should adorn ourselves like men and sit down and talk. I'm not gonna bark at you, you're not gonna bark at me. We men, we may growl a little bit. We men, that's what, you know, lions, they roar every so often. They're like, why is he roaring? I'm a lion, I just need to get it out. You know? Let me tune these lungs up, these vocals up a little bit. But at the end of the day, bro, sister, I still love you. You know, so like I said, man, it was just wonderful. I mean, I believe personally that that's how Israel is gonna get it in the last days. Let's sit down, let's talk. Let me understand what you understand. You know, what did I miss right here? We've been in this way. My father actually brought us to the name a while ago. We came straight out of the Christian church, the House of God. Maybe some of y'all might know. Once we got the name, we kept going from there, Then one day my brother popped up and said, man, look, I believe that we're the chosen people of the book.
You are the chosen.
I'm looking at this dude like, what is he talking about? Then he began to really show us and break it down and understanding what it is, this and that, and to make a long story short. And now here we are today in Charlotte. Man, this is the greatest feeling in the world. To be around like-minded people. Listen, if you have ever been around a person that is not like-minded like you, that is a rough conversation. That is a long ride in a car beside you. You're looking at the GPS like, when is this going to end? You be like, man. But to be around strong brothers, man, listen, this is what we have been longing for. It's been hard to find strong brothers. You can find a lot of weak brothers that'll tuck their tail, but it's hard to find strong men. You like, where are the real men at? The ones that back there, man, like, bro, just whatever, man. But this is great, y'all. This is great, man. Like I said, meeting Behaalotekha, I don't know why he was in Chester. Well, I know why he was in Chester. He came looking for us and didn't know he was looking for us. So now we can't keep him out of Chester. I'm gonna try to set up a roadblock next week to see if I can stop him. But this has been an awesome experience, y'all. Once again, man, I'm excited. I'm excited what Almighty Yah is trying to do for the nation of Israel. And I believe we as people, we should not get in the Most High way. I believe that is a dangerous thing to step in the Most High way when he's trying to do something. Praise Almighty Yah. All praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah. Praise Almighty Yah. What did we read this morning? Montel, Queen, what did we read this morning in the Haftarah? Not by might, nor by power, but by what? By the Spirit of the Almighty. So it's happening, whether we like it or not. Hallelujah. So we're going to ask you to stand. We're going to close out Dr. Shah. And again, shalom to all the brothers and even the leader Kohelet. And all the wonderful brothers and all the wonderful brothers and sisters, we're going to close out. We're just going to say these words to end the Shabbat day. and then we say a tefillah, and then we'll just close out, say the shuvah, sing the shuvah, and do the benediction, and then we all will go our separate ways and hopefully come back tomorrow to even enjoy the Chag Shavuot. So on page 11, let us say these words together as we in and out the holy Shabbat day, but not fully, because when the sun goes down, that's when the Shabbat day is over for real, and then we go into another Shabbat in terms of the feast day, right? So, hallelujah. Sacrifices and your offerings are not found in our hands. Father of mercy, yet thy Lord stand firm. Accept the words of our lips and the murmurings of our hearts. Receive our prayers in mercy and favor. Grant us joy and gladness. Comfort thy people. Jehovah answers thee in the day of trouble. The name of the power of Israel set thee up on high. Draw us not away, Yah, with the wicked. For our delight is in thy word. Let thy word heal us and cause us to prosper. Cause thy wisdom to blanket Israel. Let the visions of the righteous be our lot. Yea, even the dreams of thy redeemed our good fortune. Draw us with cords of love, and let our borders be true. Into thy hand I commit my spirit. All praises unto thee, O Yah. We have thought of thy loving kindness. We rejoice in the house of Yah. Come behold the works of Yah and rejoice in the same. For he has rescued his people Israel. He has called forth the dispersed of Yaakov. He causes righteousness to stand where calamity was. For such is our power forever and ever. He will be our God henceforth eternally. Sing his praises aloud. Hallelujah. Let us sing together the Shema. Shema Yisrael
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yehovah, Yehovah. El Rakum Rekanu. El Rakayim with Rab Kesed. The most compassionate, most merciful, holy, great King of the world. Only to you, O Yah, do we give honor. Kavod la Yehovah, even glory to thee. Thy name shall forever be magnified, glorified even above all. Atapore, you are the creator, the maker of all. And we thank you, O Yah, for your forever presence, for being there, for being mindful of us, for watching over us, for helping us, for allowing us to succeed and do well in this world. B'tah Elohim, wa'ein over Shemayim ma'al, wa'aretz b'takat. You are the power in the heavens above and in the earth beneath. There's none to be compared unto you. None that we will call upon save thee. B'tah Rophe, you are our healer. B'tah Hoshienu, you are our savior. B'tah Hagadol, you are the great one. The whole Tikva Bel to
Eloheinu na Yehovah, please receive our prayer and the words that we speak before thee. Even the meditation of our hearts, O great King. You are the omnipotent one, the omnipresent, the omniscient one, the all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-seeing. There's nowhere on this earth that we will go and you are not present. Your Holy Spirit, O Yah, is with all of us. And we thank you for dwelling within us. And we pray that you will give us the eyes and the ability to see the Yah in every individual. That we will respect our fellow neighbor. That we will respect our brothers and our sisters. That we will respect even the wives of our brothers. That we will respect our elders. That we'll even try to inspire and encourage our children. Show us the right way. Lead us down that path of truth, oh Yah. As we prepare, even for our holy day, even Kam Shavuot, even the Feast of Weeks, the time when we bring forth the wheat harvest, from the time of the Aviv until this time, thou hast provided for us in abundance, and we give thanks unto thy name. Bread has not lacked from our table, nor oil from our head. You are the faithful one. You are the great one. You are the one that have provided for us from the day of our exception until today, O Yah. We thank you, O great King. Baruch atah Yehovah Elohim. Baruch Shem Kevod. B'mizrach Hashem Meshwa Admafo O Mehulel Simcha. Atah Elohim. Elohei Elohim. Malkei Malkami. Atah Yah. Baruch Shem Kevod Yehovah. Babakusha Yehovah. Help us and be with us for thy name's sake. We shall ever glorify and magnify you, O Yah. And we thank you for your ever presence. Hallelujah! 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 Your God! Your God! Your God! Your God! Your God! Your God!
אנחנו עם כד ישראל וזון מולדתך ונודה לך לדור ודור נספר תהילתך. We are thy people and the flock of thy pasture, and we will give thanks unto thy name from generation to generation, and we will tell of thy praise. And in the tongue of our ancient forefathers we recite these words.
Baruch
Yehovah Baruch Baruch Yehovah Bezoraim, Baruch Yehovah Be'erev, Baruch Yehovah Belayla, Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yehovah Tamid, Yehovah Eloheinu B'Bakusha, Lesoach Lanu Lechol Devarim Ra'im She'asinu Lefanecha Yom Yom, V'liot Imanu Kol Halayla Hazeh, Lema'an Shemka Yehovah, Elohei Avraham, Yitzchak, Yisrael, Elohei Avotenu Eli, Lishmoa B'Kolina, Intereseotka, Lema'an Shemka Yehovah.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Your God!
Your God!
O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, O Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Yahovah
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We look now unto the Holy One of Israel. the Almighty Yah, asking that He would bestow upon us a blessing for His great name's sake. These words that I'm about to say can be found in the book of Numbers, the 6th chapter, the 24th verse. The Almighty Yah commanded the priest, the Kohanim at that time, to even say these words when we have gatherings such as these. May Yah even bestow upon us a great blessing. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yivarekcha Yehovah wa yishmarecha.
Kein Yiratzon.
Ya'ir Yehovah panayu elecha vechunecha.
Kein Yiratzon.
Yisa Yehovah panayu elecha wa yasim lecha shalom.
Kein Yiratzon.
Translation. Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. Yehovah cause his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and may he give thee peace. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
150th Psalm, you find it on the screen. It is a call and answer. Hallelujah! God kind. Shua Yahovah Reveos Alfei Yisrael Shua Translation, return, O Yah, unto the 10,000s of the families of Israel. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Lord kind.
God kind.
Shabbat shalom lekem.
Shabbat shalom lekem.
Tov lekem.
Tov lekem.
So you have any announcements? Hallelujah. Still a Shabbat. Those of you who are wanting to go home and get your shower before the sundown, hallelujah, be safe. Those of you who are going home, be safe. B'Bakashah. God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Even